we just decided to come on out here and have a little more quiet so we could concentrate and hear ourselves talk. So, Miss Joe Smith and Mr. Billy Smith, we are back. And I think you were, we left off where you were talking about Mom.
Yep, going down the, I was talking about the trip that all the wives except Patsy and me. And the reason being is, and I can understand it in a way, we had kids and they couldn't, you know, have kids going back and having to stop for them and the things. But I had told Billy, I said, you better not act like you're having fun. So, but then every video I saw Marty and Billy and Elvis hitting each other, and Richard hitting and running around. So when he got back, I said, I knew you were going to have fun.
And here's the proof.
And here's the proof, right here. But no, we when all the guys were gone, which was, you know, back in the early days, which I can say, Patsy, me, and Priscilla too, we always were in Memphis, and when the guys traveled up until a certain time, and we stayed together. Of course, you know, we would go pick up their checks. I told Patsy, said, I didn't know you could. I said, yeah, I picked Billy's check up, and we, you know, at Graceland. So she said, well, I'm gonna start doing that. So every Friday we would go pick up checks, get y'all ready, get the kids ready, and we would go either out to eat or we would go to the Overton Park.
Yeah, I can remember us going to the park.
Yeah, I've got pictures of y'all at Overton Park.
Yeah.
And we just, I can say me and Patsy were in the very beginning, which says a lot because none of the others were. They weren't. We were back in the early movie days, 60s. So that puts us back. We were there before Priscilla came.
Right.
And you know.
Yeah,
so,
and I think we moved into the house actually either right at the same time
right
in 63,
about the time that she came,
or right before in 64. So
yep.
Yeah. So that's, you know, it does bring up, you know, the unpleasant task of having to say that,
well, you know,
we were there longer,
right.
You know, and
we saw a lot of things. We knew most of the people that passed through, and I mean, there's not a whole lot anybody can really tell us. Well, me now, you know, Patsy's passed away, but
yeah, and then you were there to the end because we left in July of '76. Was the last time that, as a group, we were involved in anything.
Yeah.
The day of the last concert he had here, and you know, that, what was it, 13 months, I guess, 14 months before Elvis passed away. It was like a whole different, you know, kind of situation. But all the years previous to that, we were always kind of intertwined. Yeah. And I can't honestly remember a time when Elvis and you and Billy were not in our lives, in my life. I don't know another time without y'all. Y'all were little, and you were little when you lived at Graceland, and of course Angie was born while y'all lived there, and then after a short time, Patsy, you know, she wanted her own place, and so you moved out and got your own place, Right.
and that's kind of the way it was with us in California. We lived with Elvis on Perugia Way when all of us first started going out, and then Billy, you know.
And we ended up having an apartment in the same building as y'all.
We lived next door to each other. We came home after that movie, and then when we went back, Billy and Marty got apartments right next door to each other for us, and we lived next door to each other. Then the first time y'all lived over off of Santa Monica.
Yeah, I think so. It was in Melrose. Over in that area.
We just there was just hardly never a time that I didn't wasn't around with Patsy. And two, it would usually be Patsy Lacker, me, Becky Yancey, and Priscilla. We did a lot of things before she went Hollywood. She went Hollywood on me, and I,
she stayed out in our room out there quite a lot. And
she used to come to my house and spend the night, and we would go to the movies, downtown shopping, fairgrounds. We were, Patsy and me and Priscilla, we were all really close.
Yeah.
And then after they divorced or separated, she didn't have any contact with us back home.
Yeah, she kind of abandoned everybody except the California faction.
Yeah, she kind of went Hollywood or California, whatever you want to say.
Well, they both in the same place.
Yeah.
So.
But Billy and actually on tours, Billy said he and Marty used to be roommates.
We were roommates.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Being a Memphis Mafia wife's husband.
A live person.
No, I wanted you to tell us about that, because you just told me about just if you can remember anything about it, would y'all just pick roommates as you were on tour, or did it just flow like that where you just happened to?
Yeah, you had to. There was only like 4 bedrooms, so everybody had to double.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how you got through his snoring.
I snored as bad as he did, so
good.
we was all right. We didn't wake up.
So y'all were good match then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd do things together. When Elvis wasn't, wanting our
full attention,
right?
Yeah. So y'all would hang out and entertain yourselves eating with each other.
Usually it was me and Marty and Richard and basically, cause, we'd go out. We'd go out, like maybe go bowling or something like that. Go to a nightclub or something.
God, that's something I'd like to see, is my daddy bowling.
Oh yeah, and we would go to Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Together.
Was that a nightclub, wasn't it?
Sandy Farrah. Tony Farrah owned it, and it's Sandy Martindale now.
Oh yeah.
Her dad owned it, and Elvis dated her off and on, and we would go down. That's the only place I could get in because I wasn't old enough. So that's all. I remember one time we went to see the Checkmates. Was that who it was? And they wouldn't let me in. so me and Billy and Richard had to go to Red Velvet.
There was a lot of nightclubs that were back in the heyday, like Whiskey a Go-Go.
Oh yeah.
And the Trip and
the Trip. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to get some stories about that from y'all sometimes.
And we went to see Jackie Wilson at the Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Wilson. Daddy loved Jackie Wilson. I know all y'all were real fond of him.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, we we hung out more together than.
Did it ever cross your mind that? Well, I know it crossed your mind because you loved your wives and everything. But did you all feel torn as husbands?
Sure.
Not knowing what to do. It was good, but it was bad.
It was, It had its good parts and it had its bad parts, and it was coming to really coming to a head. Whether or not I was going to stay out there or what. And so I think Joe was the first one to get an apartment.
Joe Esposito.
Yeah, I think they lived in
Beverly Glen.
I think they lived in the same one. It was either it might have been Alan and Joe Fortis. That first place you were talking about us living. They lived in that one.
Yeah.
And so Elvis figured it wasn't right that
he could have his wife.
Everybody should have their wife out there. So that cured the problem somewhat.
Fixed it right then.
Like I say, I was gonna have to make a decision, and I'm sure
And that
Marty
would have
felt
been
the
hard
same way.
for you though too, especially having been with Elvis for so long as family.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, see, the thing about that was, we were so young. We were young, and we didn't, like Billy, you know, he started when he was not quite 18 years old, traveling with Elvis. We were still in high school,
Yeah.
and he left to go with Elvis on tour, and it was like, you know, and to his being, when Elvis moved out of the ghetto, he took Billy and his family, and so Billy felt a, you know, kind of a loyalty to him.
Yeah, y'all actually rode in the same car, your family with Elvis
Right,
and
Elvis
his
they
family
moved to Memphis.
from Tupelo.
Same
Lived in the
apartment
same
building.
apartment building.
Yeah.
Until, you know, they went to
Audubon.
Lauderdale, of course, and we moved to Poplar.
And then
Actually, where 201 Poplar is, was an old building there. And,
oh really? Where the
we
jail
were,
is?
yeah, it was a big apartment building. And, well, it was right there in that area.
Everybody had to use the same bathroom, didn't they?
Yeah,
It was a
one
like
kind
community
of
Horton
bathroom.
house,
community
rooming
bathroom.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, y'all did move to Audubon with him though, didn't you?
No.
No,
No.
you didn't. You just visited over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen pictures of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we just
Actually,
visited
Billy
there.
and his parents and brother moved to Graceland before Elvis did, because
Oh,
that big
okay.
white house in the back, remember
Yeah.
that they bulldozed down?
Yeah.
That's where Billy and his family lived, and they kind of watched out. His daddy was the first gate guard,
Yeah.
Travis.
Well,
I've seen a lot of really good pictures.
It being, you know, such a, I called it kind of a rush job because you had so many workers there, and
Yeah.
Elvis, you know, he kind of wanted it finished by the time he got back, and
Yeah. We know that about him. He wanted it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, you had gardeners, you had, you know,
Painters,
painters, yeah,
Carpenters.
they doing the interior work. The fence was being built inside and out, and man, it
Plumbing.
was just, you know, it was so.
Yeah.
You know, they and Aunt Gladys and Uncle Vernon, you know, they were going out there on Loving You, and so that, you know,
It was
that
kind of a
pretty
caretaker
much,
situation,
Yeah,
and
that,
that was
that
his
pretty
own
much
first.
let Daddy in control, you know, as far
Yeah.
as that all was concerned, you know.
Yeah, some say that I've had the question posed to me on family that was living there. Well, so we know you all were in the White House, and supposedly, sorry y'all, we got a plane going overhead.
Wait, I want to go.
Flap your wings, baby, flap them.
I can flap my mouth, but my wings won't work.
But anyway, the Gene and his family, did they live at the house or on the grounds anywhere?
No.
no,
They
they stayed
might-
up there every so often in a
might
room,
stay up,
Yeah.
yeah.
like overnight. But they had a house in Otisdale subdivision. Later, Red West bought the house
Oh,
that
that's
they
cool.
lived in, so
Mhm.
that was where they lived.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't actually live there. Grandma had a room upstairs in the beginning.
Wasn't that what
Lisa's
they
room
called the
was
brown
Grandma's
room? Was that what they called the brown room, or was that what was made into the dressing room?
I really don't know where a brown room come into being. The only well, there was a bedroom on the left-hand side and a bedroom on the right. The bedroom on the right was where Grandma stayed. Later became Lisa's room. And the bedroom on the left was, you know, just anybody, because there was a wall there that separated
Yeah, right.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there at
bathroom,
the end.
And
Yeah.
of course, that didn't last long, you know,
Yeah.
because people going in and out, you know, and him in his, where his bathroom was, you know,
Yeah.
he could hear so much. But that room had a lot of brown in it at the time.
That may have been
But
what
That might
people
have
are
been what
talking about,
started
because I
that.
never have been able to figure out what
But,
they were talking about.
He had that wall removed, and that bedroom was gone, you know.
Yeah, so that whole suite from the padded doors all the way back
all the way
to
back.
bedroom.
Yeah.
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 That's what I thought, and it kind of came to a point, instead of there being a wall partition between
Yeah, there was
Lisa's and
actually
that
another
bedroom.
door that went in to back there, you know.
Uh-huh.
To the
Wow.
dressing room.
Well, it went to
He
all
called
that.
it later. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Usually kept that locked.
Yeah,
You know, 'cause
yeah.
he didn't, you know.
And then the attic door was right there. To
The
the
attic
right
door
of the
was
padded doors.
we're not right, almost behind the patio
Yeah.
doors. Patio doors open the opposite way, and
Yeah.
of course that door
Yeah.
went up to the attic.
Believe it or not, the inside of those doors were remember, I don't know if you remember or not, that's what our front doors in our house were made of, the same stuff.
At your
On Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, in Memphis, that house, he bought the lot, he gave Daddy the money for the lot for that house.